Let me tell you something. I have this friend. It's an associate. She's a part-time yoga instructor. And she probably makes roughly about $300 a month teaching at the local gymnasium around the corner. Now, my friend's name is Tasha. And so what she wanted to do was she wanted to scale her side hustle to about $120,000 annually in revenue. Now, she started doing this in just about 18 months. And she did it without hiring a single employee. Now, what if I told you that Tasha was just working like 15 hours per week, using nothing but her smartphone, a roughly cheap USB microphone that costs around about 25 or 30 bucks, and a simple strategy that most people completely do not think about. Like, nobody ever really sits back and wonders how to do what Tasha just did, right? Well, after sitting there chopping it up with Tasha one day, she gave me the blueprint because I had to ask. I was like, how did you do what you did? And you didn't hire nobody, but you scaled to $120K annually. So that's revenue for the whole year. And so she sit down and she laid out the blueprint, and she actually used Ryan Dice's blueprint. And I was like, what's funny is I'm studying Ryan right now. And she started laughing. She was like, well, this is what it is. This is how I did what I did. And I'm thinking to myself, okay. So I said, you don't mind if I share this on the next episode, do you? I said, oh, you don't mind if I share it on an episode, do you? She was like, go ahead. Because gatekeeping is not the way of the future. The wave of the future is being able to help others get to a point to where everybody's making an income. Everybody's living a comfortable life. So what I decided to do, I said, I'm going to use what you just told me, and I'm going to study it. I did a case study. And today I'm going to give you exactly what happened. Because see, by the end of today's episode, I want you to know the blueprint that Tasha used, and now the blueprint that I have adopted. And more importantly, how to apply it to your own side hustle, regardless of what industry you're in. You see, because my side hustle started out as my podcast, The Solopreneur Chronicles, which used to be Diary of an Entrepreneur. And now it's become one of the companies that I run using Tasha's scalable method, tweaked it along with Ryan Dice's scalable program, because I copped his book and turned it into what I needed to know, knowing how to scale my multiple companies without batting an eye. But what I did was I took it and tweaked it like Tasha did, because I didn't have no employees. So therefore, I had to understand what it's going to take in order to get to that point, right? But here's the thing, and this might surprise you. This wasn't about working harder. It wasn't about having some special talent or connections. And it definitely wasn't about having a bigger budget or fancy equipment. See, what it was about was understanding the simple truth, that one simple truth that most side hustlers never forget.
Welcome to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast, the show where solopreneurs like you learn how to ignite, ascend, and empower a one-person business that works for you, not the other way around. Each week, your host Anthony Porter will bring you actionable strategies, real-life stories, and expert insights to help you attract clients, create consistent content, and turn your passion into profit. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, this is your go-to resource for making big things happen on your own terms. If you're ready to ditch the overwhelm and build a business that fits your life, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Let's dive in.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Anthony Porter. Now, if you're here, and I say this with the utmost respect, if you're here and you're new to the show, it's all about helping build profitable businesses without being overwhelmed, without burnout, without complexity, and definitely without needing to quit your day job to make it happen. See, this is a side hustle. This episode is about creating a six-figure side hustle that could possibly lead to you walking away from your 9 to 5, right? Now, today we're going to take a deep dive into something you got to ask yourself about constantly. How do I make my side hustle, or how do I take my side hustle from barely covering coffee money to actually replacing my boring ass 9-to-5 income. And more specifically, how do I do it without hiring a team, without a massive overhead, or without burning myself the hell out? See, a lot of people will tell you that, and trust me, some of the most profitable side hustles are affiliate marketing, selling digital products, creating courses, making content. And that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. See, this episode is going to be different. Instead of giving you the generic answers or generic advice, we're just going to walk straight through it, man. We're going to break down how Tasha did it, how I did it, and how I studied Ryan Dice and his scalable method, because it's all about being strategic. It's all about mindset shifts. That's what makes everything possible. And definitely you got to have the right tools in place. Because see, these tools lead to systems. Now, I also want to share with you the 3 biggest mistakes I've seen people make and a couple of mistakes that I made that are inside the 3. Now, when they're trying to scale their side hustle, these mistakes will keep you stuck in that $500 to $1,000 market range. You're trying to get to 6 figures, man. You want to replace. You want that freedom. You want that time back. So here's what you need to do. As usual, if you're new here, you know you got to understand. Grab your notepad, because we want to write some things down so you can understand. Now, all of those who are returning, you know what to do. We don't have to tell you. We're going to get busy. Hey, let's rock with it. All right, my good people, check it out. Before we get started, once again, if you're new here, this is what you need to do. Subscribe to the podcast on all your streaming platforms. Find us, leave us a review. Tell us what you think. Your reviews, your input not only helps the channel grow, not only helps the podcast grow, but it also helps more entrepreneurs get into the space, solopreneurs get into the space where they are able to communicate and help other solopreneurs, other entrepreneurs, course creators, coaches do the exact same thing that you want to do. And that's grow. All right. So we've got that covered. Y'all ready? Again, subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Solopreneur Chronicles Podcast. Subscribe. Turn on your bell notification. Listen. Download the episodes. Share the episodes. Be the voice of the voiceless and help these folk understand. In the times that we in right now, anything is possible. All right? No time to complain. Action. We don't deal with boot kickers. We going to bootstrap our way through. Tire kickers is out the way. We action takers over here. All right, so let's jump into it. All right, so let's talk about the $1 million mindset. See, Tasha's story is crazy because I've known Tasha for a long time. And see, Tasha was always trying to get everybody in the neighborhood to stay healthy. Of course, if you could see me, you would understand I'm not the healthiest guy. I'm getting there, but Tasha was always the one. So when she decided that, we knew in the hood that Tasha was going to be the one that would be successful in the fitness industry. Now, we all had dreams of being entrepreneurs, but Tasha's story was different because, see, Tasha grew up, we all grew up in the same neighborhood. Some of us had our parents. Tasha lost her mother to sickness. And when Tasha lost her mother, it was the story that you see on TV. You know, she helped raise her siblings. She lived with her grandmom. She helped take care of her grandparents, you know, grandmother, grandfather. But Tasha kept her head on straight. All of us was playing sports. Tasha was doing the stuff that she's doing now. And see, her thing, it perfectly illustrates the first and most important principle, the shift from selling time to selling a system. See, over time, Tasha was that person. Over time, Tasha developed a system. She homed in on her craft as we grew up. And the older we got, the more experience she got. Tasha started training a lot of people in the city. She started teaching classes for the elderly. Tasha was doing it. Tasha was doing it up, man. So when Tasha started, she felt like she was stuck in what I call the time trap, because she felt like as the older she got, the less time she was having. And I'm not saying living. It was just like she was, you know, trading her hours for dollars. See, Tasha had a big heart. And teaching these yoga classes, because I'm telling you, staying fit and staying flexible, hey, that's a beast. But see, she had this issue because she was doing like one-on-one sessions, maybe selling a few yoga mats here and there. See, Tasha started developing Tasha was the entrepreneur of the group. And I'm not saying was in past tense. I'm saying she was the one who opened up everybody else's eyes. And see, her breakthrough came through when she realized she needed to package all of that knowledge over the years. Package all of that knowledge in one simple situation, not just her time. So everything that she had learned She needed to package it together. And then instead of teaching 20 people in one room, she could teach 200 people online. See, again, as we got older, the Gen X generation got a little smarter. Now, we watched the millennials. I know I did. I watched the millennials. But we got smarter. We knew that online is where it's at. And she figured out that she could do this repeatedly. Instead of answering the same beginning question over and over, she could just create one resource. And that was it for her. And so once she laid out the blueprint, we all follow suit. See, our egos didn't let nothing get in the way. You had some that went to college. You had some of us that got kicked out of college. Some of us went to trade school. But we all still had that entrepreneurial bug. Some of us was chasing the music dream. We still had that entrepreneurial bug. When she figured that out from afar, we was like, this is the fundamental shift that separates six-figure side hustles from those people who have a business that's just a hobby. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to think like a product company and not a service provider. But that doesn't mean that you can't reach out and understand what your people need. You still got to think like a product company. So what Tasha did was, as we said that, we talked about this, because as I started studying Ryan Dice, I started paying attention to what Tasha was doing. And it's crazy because she put together the same framework, a 3-pillar framework. She just made it for solopreneurs. And so when I seen it, I said, let me tweak this and make it for me. So when I break down this framework that I call Scale Solo Method, it has 3 pillars in it, right? So the first pillar we're going to talk about is called the signature system. See, Tasha didn't just teach yoga. She created a 21-day flexibility reset, a specific system with a clear promise and a clear outcome. Now, this portion is critical because, see, people don't buy yoga classes. They buy a transformation, and that transformation is what those classes provide. So your signature system should answer 3 questions. And this is where, if you haven't done it, this is where you need to have that pen and that pad, because that signature system should answer these 3 specific questions. What specific problem does it solve? What's the clear outcome that someone can expect? And then last but not least, what makes your approach different or better? Now, because Tasha's in the fitness niche, she niched it down and she started teaching yoga. Okay, but her yoga is like everybody else yoga, right? Wrong. Because, see, she niched it down even further. See, what she did was she was teaching women, minorities, stay-at-home moms, teaching them the 21-day flexibility program. See, these folk couldn't touch their toes. These women couldn't touch their toes. And please believe me, I'm not bashing no woman. I'm saying, as I studied this from afar, I realized these women either just got through having kids, they've been at home, they don't get a chance to get out much because they already have kids, or they work from home. They needed to get flexible. They needed to get back into shape. They needed to feel alive. They needed to have the energy. Yoga gives you all of that. And so when Tasha did that, I said, oh, she got something here. I said, I'm not going to tell her, though. See, we used to go back and forth as a group. Myself, Tasha, Jay, Blizz. See, we used to go back and forth. Tasha wasn't the only one, but Tasha was the only girl. See, they all went to school together. I didn't. I went to a different school. I just got fortunate enough to be in the neighborhood. See, Gidget was another entrepreneur. And once you had Tasha and Gidget, they would communicate. And trust me, Gidget's her real name. It's not a nickname. But they would communicate. And then you had the girl down the street. I think her name was Beth. Now, Beth didn't fool with us too much. Like, we would all sit outside and bounce ideas off each other. But she didn't fool with us much. But what had happened was we started paying attention. And then I realized that what she was telling everybody was so, so true. If you can't touch your toes, you need to stretch your joints. And the older we get, the less mobility we seem to have. And see, the key is specifically 15 minutes a day. You stretch out real good. You do this for 21 days. And if you could do anything for 21 days, you'll be all right, right? So it wasn't about getting, flexible someday. It was about being noticeably more flexible in 21 days. Not do some yoga, but 15 minutes a day, you made general progression. And that was the method. So the signature system became the foundation for everything else. Her online courses, her membership site, her email newsletter. Shout out to that. And even every single social media post that she does. Now, there's a lot of people that do this. She's not the only one. But because we was close friends, she was the one we studied. Jay took the same framework because paid attention to one of the other episodes, all of these frameworks are identical. So Jay took it over to the music radio station he run. I use it for the podcast in my coaching business. So once we figured out the signature system part, we had to get down to the nitty gritty because now you got to have a content engine. And so that was the pillar number 2 to this. See, most people do this wrong. They think they need to be everywhere, posting constantly, trying to keep up with every platform. But in reality, Tasha did just the opposite. She picked one platform, which I had already been doing that anyway, and that was Instagram, and mastered it. But the genius part to this was, Lord, it was a genius part. She just didn't post random content. Every single post was designed to do one of 3 things. Those 3 things was to attract, nurture, and convert. When she attracted people, she showed her expertise and attracted new followers. When she was nurtured, she was building trust and demonstrating value. And then when she converted, she moved people into her paid program. She used what I call the content pyramid strategy. The base level, 70% educational content showing her signature system in action. But then the middle level was 20% behind the scenes content building, professional connections. She was building the trust. She was building all of this inner trust with her potential clients, the leads. And then the top level, which was the most secure level, which is 10% of everything. Now, if you paid attention, 70%, 20%, that's 90. She was giving 100% effort, right? 10%. She direct promotional content for her programs. That was her secret sauce. See, she repurposed everything. That's exactly what we do. She repurposed everything. And once she repurposed it, it goes like this. One 15-minute video became Instagram post, stories, series, email, newsletter, content, promotional, and a blog post. 4 pieces of content from one creational session. Think about it. When she was teaching online, she would take and repost everything she did and made it into more content and repurposed it across Instagram. Now, this is where Tasha really started to scale without adding team members. She built a simple system that worked while she slept. She had a welcome email sequence, 7 email series that introduced to new subscribers her story, her methods, and some free resources. They ran automatically. Every time someone joined the email list, it went out. Then she had a nurture campaign. She had weekly emails that provided value. It shared some of her student success stories, and it had an occasional promote her program. She batch wrote these on Sunday afternoons. Now, that's the system that she followed from me. Because, see, how I do my podcast is I think of the ideas. Now, it's going to sound crazy. So I think of the idea. Once the idea has come up, I idealize on Sundays. So that's for everything. Post. Because, see, my podcast becomes everything that we're talking about right here. So each one of itself, I idealize. The podcast is shot on Tuesdays. The original podcast, so let's say this, I idealize on Sundays. Mondays I prep, but Mondays is a split day because at 6 a.m., the podcast I shot the week before uploads. By Tuesday, I'm recording. By Wednesday, I'm scripting out the description, getting my thumbnail together. By Thursday, I'm on each platform. I'm thinking of stories, I'm thinking of posts, I'm thinking of everything that I need to think of. By Friday, all the editing is done, scheduled to release by Saturday. I'm enjoying my time. Sunday, I'm idealizing. I'm just kick back, relax, and get ready for the next week. Monday, this episode will be up Monday. Yep. Okay. So what I'm saying is everything that has done, and then we put everything together. She took and said, okay, I see what you're doing. I see you. I'm checking. She's watching. She put together a sales funnel. Now, this is where I come into play because this is what I like to do. I like to dabble with sales funnels. We built a simple landing page. Offer something for free like her 5-day flexibility challenge. They collected the email addresses and introduced people to her signature system. See what we did? That's right. We gave away something for free. I don't understand why everybody don't want to give away something for free. Not everything has to cost. And then after we did the nurturing campaign, the delivery system comes into effect. And the delivery system, she used a simple course platform to deliver her program content throughout automated email sequences that guided students through each week. The beauty of this stack is, because this is what it is, it's an offer stack. Once it was set up, it ran itself. Tasha could go on vacation for a week and still be making sales. Can you imagine yourself sitting on an island, the Caribbean? I don't know about now. Everything's in shambles. But can you imagine sitting on vacation? Let's just say you decide you wanted to go to Florida. Let's say you wanted to go to Montana. You sitting there, feet up. Damn. If it's the summertime, you're on the beach. If it's the wintertime and you in Montana, you looking at the snow. You just made. Or what was it back in the day? Didn't X we used to have? Oh, yeah. Bing. You got mail. Bing. You have mail again. That mail is a notification nowadays, letting you know, hey, you just sold a $1,500 course. Hey, you just sold a $500 session, 4-week session after the 5-day challenge. And this is constantly. So can you imagine you get 5 or 6 of those a day? A lot of people can't because a lot of people are not in tune to do exactly what we're talking about. So you got to be in tune to do that. You got to have the mindset. You got to have the systems in place. You got to do all of this. Now, here's where a lot of people seem to fail, because there's 3 fatal mistakes that I see people making every single day when it comes to this. Number 1, they follow the shiny object. So that shiny object is the trap. See, people see someone's success on TikTok and think, I need to be on TikTok. No, you can post on TikTok, but you don't choose your own lane. You have to be in your own lane. Think about this. I chose podcasting over being a content creator on Instagram and everything like that. I chose podcasting. I got a voice for it. I wanted to do it. I needed to talk to people, but I also did it because I wanted to make sure that I had the success rate through my YouTube channel, through Apple, through Spotify. So yeah, I did that. I chose the own lane, and so did Tasha. All right. Now here's the truth. Tasha could have built the same type of business on YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, and even email marketing. The platform don't matter. It's just consistency and the quality of your message. So pick one platform, master it, and then expand. Man, don't try to be everywhere at once. All right, number 2. This one hits there. The perfectionism paralysis. Man, most people already done hit this level and think they just try to be too perfect. I'm not going to launch my course until everything is done. They're waiting on the perfect sale, the perfect video quality, the perfect everything. Man, listen, when I recorded my first episode, I was at work. One of my first episodes was at work, and I didn't even post it because I was so embarrassed. But then I got to thinking, I don't have, and see, I had the shiny object syndrome too because I wanted the Sony Z7. I wanted the Rodecaster. I wanted the pod mic, as you see right here. But I wanted all of that in the beginning. Man, my first episodes ever shooting a podcast shot on an iPhone in the living room at the table. My first YouTube video was shot through my iPhone 11 Pro Max. She shot hers with a Samsung Galaxy. I remember because me and Jay was laughing like, you got to get with the program. She's like, I'm not thinking about y'all. I can't afford no iPhone. Thought about what she said and said my iPhones later. I'm still with Apple. But her first sales page was a simple Google Doc with an email sequence. Trust me, we were so busy trying to get it because see, when Jay was launching the radio station and she was doing her fitness and I was starting my coaching program and the podcast, we was all doing the exact same thing. We was trying to hurry up and get it out, hurry up and get it out, hurry up and get it out. But when everything changed, she made her first $3,000 because she focused on solving people's problems and not creating the perfect content. And it's the same with me. It's the same with Jay. Blizz. He's doing the same thing in Connecticut. We all focused and we all became in our own lanes. Jay has had some of the top artists from past and present visiting the radio station. I just sit back and chill it. Hey, man, that's my dog. Blizz up here making promotional items for people. That's my dog. And here I am with the podcast, Solopreneur Chronicles, tapping into a lot of homes. But I want to tap into more. And it's not because I want the downloads. It's because I want to reach out and make sure that everybody is able to be in a position to be comfortable. Trade your time for that money. Now, the third mistake a lot of people make is one that I have to laugh at because it's the underpricing disease. See, a lot of people don't want to charge what they feel like it's worth because a lot of people are afraid nobody's going to buy. But here's the thing. You have to understand this. If people want that transformation, they're going to spend that money. Oh, yeah, they will spend that money. How do you think I know this? Well, here's how you know people are going to spend money. When people decide they want to go to the club or they got a special event, i.e. a Beyonce concert, no bashing. I'm giving you facts. So Beyonce come, I think her tickets probably in the city of Louisville a few years ago. I think her tickets was roughly $65, $75 at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium, but up in the upper echelon. Sit down in the floor. I think they was roughly $500 to $1,000. Can you imagine? As a parent, you want to take your child. As a husband, you want to take your family. So let's say you got a family of 4. That's $2,000. Now you got to go out to eat before the concert. Your wife. Let's split it down the middle. You got a wife, a daughter, and a son, and yourself. Both gentlemen have to go get their hair cut. Both ladies have to make sure their outfits is perfect. Nails is done. Toes is done. Hair laid, fried, dyed, laid to the side. You got to go eat. The fellas got to get a nice outfit. You're not gonna go like we're going to the Source Awards. You want to dress your best. You want to pop out. You want to pop out. You want to pop your collar. Your son wants Balenciaga. Your wife and your daughter want to rock some red bottoms. You done spent $3-4 grand to go see Queen Bee. Get there. Your daughter says, "Oh, Dad, I want a Beyonce shirt, $55." So people will spend when they feel like it's something that is giving them value. Beyonce, I've heard and I've seen, and she puts on a hell of a show. So that's value to some people. If you think I'm lying, it's the same thing with Taylor Swift. It's the same thing with Jelly Roll. It's the exact same thing when your major country artists, like a Garth Brooks, a Jason Aldean, when they come, it's the same situation. Money is spent. All right? So we're not talking down about it. We're talking about because people want to have a good time. People want to enjoy themselves. It's value, okay? So it's value. So what Tasha did, she said, okay, I know how to do this. My 21-day program is $47. Helping people avoid injury, helping people get a transformation that she was providing, helping people build confidence and creating a, sustainable flexibility practice. She realized she was solving a problem worth much more. So she undervalued her first time out. So she increased it to $197. And guess what happened? Her sales went up. See, a lot of people don't understand because see what we are built on. We as a people, I don't care if you're black, you white, you Hispanic, you Chinese, it doesn't make a difference. We are built on if it looks like it's cheap, we don't want it. But what it really says to people is the higher the price, the more serious the person is, the student is about the transformation, which creates better testimonials, which attracts more serious students. It's a positive cycle. So don't be afraid to charge what you think it's worth because it's probably worth what it's worth. Now, here's the implementation roadmap that you need to know about. All right. So how do people actually implement this? Let me give you a step-by-step roadmap. Phase 1 is the foundation. It's weeks 1 through 4, right? All right. So define the signature system. Choose a primary platform and set up your basic automation. That's email, nurturing, all of that. All right. Then phase 2 is your content creation. So that's weeks 5 through 12. Now, if you notice, there's only 3 because some of this carries over. So week 1 might go into week 2 and so forth and so on, right? So when you get to the weeks 5 through 12, it's your content creation. All right. So create your lead magnet. That's that free sample for your signature program. Start your content engine. You want to make sure that engine is cranked up, right? So you want to be consistent. You want to have valuable content on that chosen platform that we told you to choose. Choose the platform that you want to choose. Don't just go and choose Instagram. Now, if you want to repurpose some content and make it easier, at the end of the episode, I will give you something that you could possibly tap into, and it's called Opus Clip. It makes repurposing content like the professionals online a lot easier. And then in the same phase of weeks 5 through 12, you want to build your email list. Focus on the quality subscribers and not the quantity. And then phase 3 is, weeks 13 through 20. And that's the monetization. You want to create your minimum valuable product. Simple vision of your signature system, man. I'm telling you. Test it on a small group. Get feedback and some testimonials, and then launch to your full audience. Use the proven messaging and pricing that, make sure that you are comfortable with what you are basically charging. All right. So, and then last but not least, we're going to talk about scaling. That's weeks 21 and up. Optimize what's working. So you need to make sure you're checking your metrics. Double down on your best content and offers. Checking your metrics. Automate more processes. Reduce the time you spend on repetitive tasks. And then expand strategically. Now, as you start to expand strategically, add complementary products. So explore new platforms. The key is not to skip phases, but to build the foundation before you worry about scaling. All right. So that's about it, man. Let's wrap this thing up. So make sure you get some specific actions and take them right now. First, I want you to answer the question. What's the one specific transformation you provide better than anyone else? Write that down now. Don't overthink. Just write it down. And that's the first thing that comes to mind. Second, choose your platform. One platform. Don't do many. And then last but not least, start building your email list today. Now, if you're loving this content and want to dive deeper, two things. Follow us on IG, Solopreneur Chronicles Podcast. Follow me on IG. I am Anthony Porter. All right. Now I'm on, everything else is on other platforms. These are the main ones that I use. We're going to give you the updates. We're going to make sure you always stay up to date on the latest trends, the latest content, the latest tools that come out. We're going to give you some behind the scenes content, man, and everything that works. Now, plus, I'm thinking about going live. So if you want to understand it, you're going to have to subscribe. You're going to have to subscribe to either IG or YouTube when I go live. All right. Second, I want to invite you to the community coming up. I had some snags with the community, not understanding the process. I'm a one-man band. So I'm going to put the wait list out there, but we're going to get the community going, Legacy Builders Network. But you can check out some of the content that will be on the podcast website. That's over at solopreneurchronicles.com. All right. Hey, that's it, man. That is it. Please share, like, subscribe, leave us a review. Because every six-figure business starts with one single customer. Now, I want to thank you for listening to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. If this episode was helpful, I'd love for you to leave me a review on either Apple or Spotify. Whatever your streaming choice is, leave me a review. It really helps others find the show. I'll see you in the next episode. And remember, guys, your side hustle has the potential to change your life. But only if, and this if is, you treat it like a business. Until next time, keep building, man. We out of here. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast. I hope today's episode gave you the insights and inspiration you need to take the next step in your business journey. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share this episode with a fellow solopreneur. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach more people just like you. Let's thank our producers of the show, Sincere and Charlie Straughter, Rhea Cash and Theory Porter. So don't forget, for more tips, tools, and resources, subscribe to the show. So just keep building, keep growing, and I'll see you next time.